Hey everyone, Jan here, and I'm going to be reviewing the first volume of Eden Zero like I said I would. Um, you guys saw me show this in my rest of 2018 pickup video, and I said I'd make a review of it. I read through it just now, actually, and because I've been very busy. But found the time to finally read through it, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it. Overall, I'd say it was... Okay. Out of a 10 out of 10 scale, I'd give the first volume like an 8. An 8. Great. Yeah, 8 out of 10. It's a great start. The beginning, a little interesting, pretty cheesy in my opinion. You can see the glorious Hiro Mashima writing that he's infamous for, the whole friendship stuff and everything. And but it's the ether gear is interesting too. But whenever Cheeky mentioned that, pretty much that just makes him sound like some kind of mechanical wizard. Like, who else but Mashima to write yet another um, magical character, wizard type person? But the ether gear is pretty cool. Ether as a concept, yes, it may unscientifically be called magic, but I could also think of it in terms as like Xenoblade, when it comes to like how everybody in the Bion is made up of like ether. Goes back to the Bioness. It says in here, it says every living thing and non-living thing is made of ether. It flows like around the universe, and it kind of made me think of the same concept. So that's what I'm gonna think about it as. Shiki as a character, I already like that he's a little, he has a little more naughty is the word to say, a little more mischievous. Yeah, I know that in Natsu and Fairy Tail is kind of mischievous sometimes with his recklessness and everything, and he kind of really doesn't abide by rules pretty much. But Shiki has a much more naughty uh, mis- uh, mischief to him, like when it comes to him being like pervy to Rebecca and stuff. I want more of that. I want him to like differentiate. Since he basically looks like Natsu. I'm not like, let's not hide it. Pretty much all the main characters in this already look like Natsu, like the fairy tale cast. Like Rebecca looks like Lucy. They both sound like kind of English-ish, like European-ish names. Natsu and Chiki, I think their names are like seasons or whatever. And they look the same. There's Ursa, Elsie, Crimson, Scarlet, referencing reddish color last name with the same sounding first name. They look exactly the same. And they call it the Armored Space Pirate. So he's not trying to hide the fact that he's pretty much making the new characters similar. But I think that's okay. It's his writing style. Um, it's kind of like a one of a kind. You can't really get it anywhere else. He's just pretty much like this. So you pretty much look. Oh yeah, and there's also Professor Steiner. Obviously looks like, to me he looks more like he kind of looks like Gray when he's using the when he's about to use the ice shield. Um, like when his hair seems like it's gonna like go white or full on gray when he's using ice shield. That's kind of what he looks like, as if he like stopped midway and stayed like that. But I already like okay. I already talked about Cheeky. I think he's a good character. He's already better than Natsu in my opinion, way better, because of his better personality. Now Rebecca. Let me talk about Rebecca. Rebecca portrayed in this first volume is already better than Lucy also, because um, she likes to eat a lot, like other shonen pro tags. Don't really see that much of female characters, and I really appreciate that. And she's very feisty, especially when it comes to the happy guns. Um, I thought that's pretty cool. But yeah. So overall, Rebecca is a pretty much better Lucy. Uh, I mean, yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory if you read the volume. Um, the whole concept now. Let me talk about the concept. The whole concept of this whole sci-fi thing. He said it in the back of the volume in the afterword. It's not really like science fiction. It's not really like sci-fi. It's more like just science fantasy. Because, you know, he's good at fantasy. He said it. He's pretty much written 2 whole series of just fantasy sword swinging, and that's pretty much what he's good at. So he decided to stick kind of like that, but just derive of it a little, and just making it in space pretty much. It's just fairy tale in space. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's actually a pretty great start. But I'm just gonna say one thing. The space thing is cool. Space travel, the planets, they're all cool. The settings are all wonderful, very futuristic, yet still maintain that fantasized element. But the thing that still looks like it plagues his writing is the whole friendship thing. Like, at this point, he's pretty much made it a huge joke. Like Rebecca points out, that it's friends this, friends that with you. I can't really stand it. It's as if it's like he knows that's what some fans or some people say about his previous series. And how they also mention like fairy tale a whole lot. There's like a whole lot of references to the characters. Don't I forgot their names, but the telepathy dude, the sand dude, Levy and her 2 worshippers, Natsu and Lucy, walking around. So there's a whole lot of remnants to fairy tale, and of course, the series just ended last year, like just a year and a half ago. So it's not like it's completely left his mind. I mean, there is a sequel that he's writing the storyboards to, so it's not like he completely threw it all out the window. He pretty much did copy and paste his writing into Eden Zero, just with a little minor flavored different flavoring, which the different flavoring is good. I just wish he had put a little more different flavoring. The setting is great, execution so far a little dull, but I still keep me interested. The thing that interested me the most in this volume, though, is the past with Rebecca and Happy, when it's revealed that Happy is actually a robot of his former self because he got run over by a drunk driver. That to me is like, whoa, I did not expect that. That is unlike his writing. That's what I mean by the little different flavor difference in his writing. If he just adds much more of that different flavoring, if that different style of writing contrast to his own, I think that this series would be much more. At this point, it's like already at 20 something chapters, so that means there's like already several volumes worth, and volume 2 is coming in February. So I'm not gonna be getting that anytime soon. But when I do get it, I hope that it's good. That it's even better than the last, because it already has me somewhat impressed, but somewhat already predicted and somewhat like expected of what to expect, and kind of disappointed at the same time. So Hiro Mashima, like I said, I give it a 8 out of 10. Very interesting, especially with the plot twist at the end. What happens like 20,000 years later, something Eden Zero on one of their little necklace things. That's very interesting. You need to not rush what you're trying to do. You threw a whole lot of things in this first volume, which is also quite a bit of a problem when it comes to pacing. Throwing too much information at people can sometimes be a bad thing, and because some people process things differently. I process the whole thing well, but some others might not be able to. So maybe lay back on the storytelling just a little bit and just adventure out. Maybe like do the adventuring a little by little in like several volumes, and then start the actual story that you put at the end with the whole plot twist of whatever happened 20,000 years later. Whatever Eden Zero is, we're sure to find out. We probably already might have. I just haven't read the next chapters. But yeah, I think that's overall what I think about. Yeah, oh yeah, and also at the beginning, what I liked about the first chapter was what the robots did for Shiki, him leaving, all of them shutting down. Remember, again, that different flavoring It's a different flavoring of writing that he needs to really get down. The whole dying. I'm just trying not to like really avoid saying it, like the whole dying concept. It seems like he's really trying to shove that in here so far, so people can like think that, oh, this really is different from fairy tale, even though it so far not really, just a different setting with a different tone, but it's still pretty much just like a fairy tale-esque uh, manga so far. But yeah, still great. 8 out of 10, like I've said. And those are pretty much my thoughts on the first volume of Eden Zero. If you haven't picked it up, you should. It is a very clean-looking white volume, very good and still entertaining. And I actually cannot wait for the second volume next year. And really love, again, the concept of the space. I want planetary exploration. It is one of my favorite things, and it is why Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite series, because of space, that sort of thing. Anything that involves space, I absolutely love. So do more of that. Those are my thoughts on the first volume of Eden Zero. If you stuck around this long for my review, thank you for watching this nonsense of a review. And like, subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And I guess I will see you on the next video. Till next time, bye.